People love India and the USA. Well, who wouldn't? They have great weather and unstoppable economies. However, Singaporeans don't. They prefer and love China. Why is this so? We have 10 reasons why Singaporeans love China, not India or the USA. Wait till the end to find out about number 1. Number 10. Good relationship. Singapore and China have built a prosperous partnership over time. This strong bond can be attributed to several factors. One is China's growing influence as a significant power in the Asia-Pacific region. Singapore recognizes this and even states that its common ground with China far outweighs potential disagreements. This approach is evident in Singapore's unwavering support for China's regional engagement and development. The two nations have actively collaborated on regional security issues, tackling terrorism together. This cooperation extends even further, with Singapore participating in the first joint maritime exercise ever conducted between China and ASEAN countries. These joint efforts stand as evidence of the enduring strength and nature of the Singapore-China relationship. Number 9. Economic growth. Since gaining independence from Malaysia in 1965, Singapore and China's economic ties have blossomed over the decades. Trade in everything from raw materials to services has boomed, with significant growth in cross-border investments. This robust partnership has benefited both countries and fueled regional economic integration in Southeast Asia. The past 5 decades have witnessed a remarkable rise in stability and strength within this bilateral relationship. Economic ties have seen a considerable boost since 1990, especially as both nations move forward. Fostering even stronger connections serves their mutual interests. For China, maintaining a beneficial economic partnership with Singapore aligns perfectly with its national goals of modernization and development. Firstly, it complements China's domestic development agenda. Closer economic ties with Singapore promise a more balanced trade structure, with increased services and investments, particularly from China, into Singapore. These are precisely the structural changes China seeks to achieve through further economic openness. Also, China's close economic relationship with Singapore has significantly smoothened its efforts to build stronger economic ties with its Asian neighbors, particularly ASEAN countries. Singapore, a longtime champion of Asian economic integration, boasts a highly developed and open economy. Together with China, they can act as a powerful bridge, building closer economic cooperation between China and Southeast Asia. This government attitude to China has contributed to Singaporeans' appreciation and love for China. Now let's move on to the next reason. Number 8. Language. You probably weren't expecting this reason, but you'll soon see why it makes perfect sense. Singapore is a cultural melting pot which shit different nationals, including the Chinese. Speaking of the Chinese in Singapore, they once spoke diverse dialects, with Hokkien being the common language. However, a government initiative in 1979, the Speak Mandarin campaign, aimed to unify communication. This campaign successfully promoted Mandarin, surpassing Hokkien and becoming Singapore's second most spoken language after English. In the 21st century, they helped in China's economic boom, further promoting the importance of Mandarin in Singapore. Proficiency in Mandarin has become increasingly valuable, not just for cultural connection, but also for economic opportunities. This trend coincided with a rise in Singapore's multilingual population, with more and more citizens embracing the ability to speak 2 or more languages, including Mandarin. So, Singaporeans roughly understand the Chinese language, which makes them love China. If you want more content like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more. Number 7. Digitalization. China and Singapore are upping their cooperation in the digital path, recognizing its vital role in a thriving digital economy, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. This focus was evident at the first online meeting of the Singapore-China Smart City Initiative. The meeting resulted in 8 signed memorandums of understanding to foster digital collaboration between Southeast Asia and China's booming Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. Analysts believe this initiative will play a key role in moving the Bay Area towards becoming a model for high-quality development. Further strengthening this digital partnership, Singapore co-hosted the Smart China Expo online with China's Chongqing in September. This follows Singapore's participation as a guest of honor at the previous SCEs in 2018 and 2019, showcasing their ongoing commitment to collaboration. With these kinds of initiatives and partnerships between the two countries, no wonder Singapore's citizens love China. Number 6. Trade. China's economic influence on Singapore is undeniable. Singapore's leaders have noted China's rise as the country's largest trading partner, with trade between the two nations going on heavily between 1990 and 2014. This surpassed even Japan, the world's third largest economy at the time. With heavy trade between the two countries, China became the top source of tourists for Singapore, with 3.42 million visitors and accounting for roughly 20% of all international arrivals. That's a lot of Singaporeans, don't you think? Number 5. Investments. Singapore and China have got some love relationship going on. Singapore emerged as China's biggest investor in 2013, pumping a record $7.23 billion into the nation. That's a lot of dollars. Singapore repeated the same thing in 2014, with investments exceeding $5.8 billion across over 700 projects, according to Singaporean media reports. The love affair wasn't one-sided. Singapore became China's favorite investment destination in Asia, attracting many Chinese companies looking to expand abroad. By the end of 2014, Singapore's total investment in China had reached $72.3 billion. But the story doesn't end there. This economic merger saw Singapore surpass the US by 2017, becoming the top magnet for Chinese overseas investments. See why Singaporeans love China? Number 4. Culture. One of the factors of people loving a place is culture, and this is one of the reasons why Singaporeans love China. So, what about culture, and how does it make Singaporeans love China? Remember when we talked about language? Language from the Chinese in Singapore doesn't come in isolation. It comes with their culture too. And due to the prominence of the Chinese language in Singapore, there is also the spread of the Chinese culture. So Singaporeans understand the language alone. They also have an understanding of Chinese culture, which makes adapting to China easier for them. Number 3. Education. More and more Singaporean students are choosing to study in China these days. There are a few reasons for this. First, China's economy is booming. This means there are lots of great jobs for people who understand China. Studying there gives Singaporean students a head start in this exciting market. Second, China's universities are getting better. They offer many exciting programs, some even cheaper than universities in other countries. Plus, since China is close to Singapore, travel is more accessible and less expensive. Third, studying in China lets Singaporean students experience Chinese culture up close. They can learn Mandarin, a helpful language in today's world, and get a feel for how things work in China. Number 2. Security. Singapore and China's military relationship has grown closer over the past 2 decades. In 2002, China offered Singapore the opportunity to relocate its training facilities from Taiwan to Hainan Island, marking a shift in their military connection. This was followed by a landmark agreement in 2008 that paved the way for increased cooperation. The agreement allowed for military visits, exchanges, port calls, and, most importantly, joint military exercises. The first of these exercises, Exercise Cooperation, took place in China in 2009. This was followed by further collaboration in joint counterterrorism exercises in 2010 and 2014. In 2019, Exercise Cooperation returned. This time it was held in Singapore. This year also saw the signing of an improved agreement on defense cooperation, indicating a deepening of ties. The COVID-19 pandemic temporarily paused these activities. However, the commitment to collaboration continued. In June 2022, both countries signed 2 new agreements focused on military education and academic exchanges. These agreements allow military personnel from Singapore and China to attend courses in each other's countries, further solidifying their military relationship. With this, Singaporeans feel safe when they visit China. Apart from this, China is safe. Safer than the United States and India even. There are fewer violent crimes in China than they are in India or the United States. So why won't Singaporeans love China? Number 1. Recognition of China's rise. Singapore walks a careful line when it comes to other countries. They don't officially team up with anyone with considerable power, but they try to be friends with everyone who can help their economy grow. This makes sense, right? The stronger their relationships with other countries, the more business they can do. Even though China has a different way of running things, Singapore stays friendly with it. Why? Because the country is essential to the global economy. Being friends with China means more business opportunities for Singapore. Of course, Singapore knows that not all countries are the same. It is a democracy after all. But the most important thing for it is keeping things stable and peaceful so its economy can thrive. No matter how they're run, most countries can agree on that. We looked at 10 reasons why Singapore and China are close. It's more than just love, they're neighbors, trade a lot together, and both want success. What do you think about Singapore and China's relationship? Please drop your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more.